Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today, or joining myself. I'm Nadia, host of Horror with Nadia, and today my panel and I are back for another movie tier list. But before I bring everybody on, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, also share this stream. We're going to get into what movies might be on the nice list and what movies might be on the naughty list. Let me bring on my panel that nobody can see. There we go. There we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Konnichiwa.
Ho.
Happy Hanukkah.
Your avatar is not very festive.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Do you want the one I sent you in the chat?
No. Oh, crap. I don't have any festive ones anymore. Okay. I mean, shit. Okay.
Hail, ladies. Hi, Tommy. Okay, that works.
Zombies here. Let's see.
It's a candy cane stormtrooper.
I don't have my blackface avatar anymore. Oh well.
Oh no, it's not that kind of stream.
I mean, I can.
No.
I mean, I guess
the racist movie tier list coming soon.
The Star Wars
we'll do it in February when it's appropriate.
The worst part is on the outside, I am a white woman, but on the inside, I'm Middle Eastern. But nobody can see that, can't convey that. But I am also proud. Welcome, everybody. We have a fun list, a bunch of clips to go through. We've got a ton of stuff. But panel, how are you doing? Vex, how are you?
I'm tired. How about you?
Tired. But okay, seizure warning for anybody in the chat. Hold on. Ready? There we go. Okay, that's not eventful. Okay. Enzo, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm gonna bring the heat. I'm glad I watched all these movies on this list, and not glad at the same time.
I think Enzo watched everything I watched except for one, and then I don't know the other two.
Vex is glad with 2 A's right now.
Oh yeah.
Gord, how are you today?
I'm good. I got off work a little bit ago, so I've been up since 3 a.m. and yet I'm wide awake for this. It's fun.
Oh shit! All right, nice.
Well, I just want to say quickly hi to the chat, and then I will bring up the tier list and tier thing, and I'll explain it. So we have got Blue Collar. God bless you, man. Good luck with that Lord of the Rings anime or animation.
Oh shit, that's out this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
War of the Rohirrim or something.
Sassy, she's taking the kid to a Christmas concert at church. Look at you on the nice list.
Why don't you disappoint your kid like regular parents?
Yeah.
I contacted Anthony and told Nadia it's definitely on the nice list. I don't know about that, Anthony, but thank you for pleading my case. Philip, hello. Vanessa. Tomby called everybody ladies. All right.
I'm sad that Santa Decides won't pay me any attention because I don't have a blue check mark. I
did get a like from him the other day.
Oh. Why do you hate me, Santa?
Adam, and then I saw Cannoli somewhere in here. Where are you, Cannoli? I see you. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. You know what? I'm in the mood. Let's put some music on and let's
Nadia's in a mood, folks.
Hey-o.
I'm in a mood. Which one? Let's we got Feeding the Ducks.
Duck is festive, isn't it?
I mean, it doesn't sound festive.
Yeah, what am I feeding the ducks?
Christmas duck. You feed it.
I'm not jerking off in the lake again, am I?
What?
Well, hang on, Vex. You may think that's inappropriate, but the song actually fits that mood way more.
Gotcha.
Here it is.
Okay. Ooh. All right, guys. All right. So, audience, my panel braved it for the last 3 weeks. 2 weeks when I told them about this, and watched a bunch of really bad and really good Christmas, Thanksgiving horror movies. Now, we're not covering everything because when I went looking for a bunch of the movies, there are endless amount of lists. A lot of them on Tubi. Tells you a lot. I don't know why Christmas and horror movies just like mash up so well.
But by the way, I have to shout out one movie that's not on the list only because it's the funniest sequel title I may have ever seen. There's some dumb horror movie called Jack in the Box, and its sequel is called Jack in the Box Rising. I was like, I love that so much. That is such a great sequel title.
Is it about a killer Jack in the Box toy?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's
Putting it on
I'm
the
like the
list.
fact that it rips off the Dark Knight sequel title, but also Rising makes sense for a Jack in the Box. I was like, well played. I like that. I'm willing to watch at least the first 2 movies just for that.
See, I went above and beyond on the list because not only did I watch the movies on the list, like some of them, I'm like, Silent Night, Deadly Night. I watched all the Silent Night, Deadly Nights and the remake. I watched all the Black
Jeez.
Christmases. There's
I don't know why you did that.
I watched
'Cause it's
2
fun.
of the 3 Black Christmases.
I watched all 3 of them. Yeah, there's a third one. We'll get into that.
I noticed that all the crime happens during the Black Christmases. I'm just
But it's all white women.
Yeah.
Well, not
white
in the
women.
2019 version. They get a little color up in there.
A little diversity for it.
DIE varsity.
I created the list, so we're gonna go with this. S tier is very nice. They're very nice. One below is nice. Like very nice is like, oh, this is God tier. This is like an ultimate Christmas horror movie. Everybody should watch this. Nice. It's just like a step below. So I'm thinking it's probably rated around like a 7. Okay is your 5 to 6s. Naughty list is your like 3 to 4s, and lump of coal is your 2 or less. Okay.
Yeah, your guilty pleasures on the naughty list, maybe.
Yeah, or the okay list. I'm thinking guilty pleasures fit around there.
Okay.
Okay,
But the
naughty
shit,
list.
the
I'd be
crap
more
is
inclined
going
to
in
put
the
the
last.
I'd be inclined to put the guilty pleasures on the naughty list. Lump of coal is just bad.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta
Yeah.
say, last time we did a tier list, a lot of great movies. This time there was a lot of crap, a lot of
Lots
garbage.
of schlock.
Not even schlock.
Right.
Like I enjoy some
That's-
schlock. Some of the stuff was bad.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
That's to be debatable because I love some of these movies,
Okay.
and to me they're very nice. But there's also a poll going on the YouTube side, folks. Are you on the naughty list or are you on the nice list? Do you think Santa has you on one of those? Vote now. So that being said, let's get into it. So we're gonna go with our first one, which, by the way, I worked so hard and I got a bunch of clips similar to last time. So give me a
Ooh.
second time. So our first movie is
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Krampus, 2015. Read as a boy who had a bad Christmas accidentally summons the festive demon to his home. Where are we thinking, guys? I have an idea, but
Do
I
you want to go
watched
one
this-
after the
oh,
other? Or?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you want to take just go up the panel one, take turns?
Yeah, well-
or...
yeah, we'll start with you, Gord, since you're the organized one. Go for it.
Oh, okay. So actually, Thursday was the first time I'd ever seen Krampus. I had a pretty dang good time with it. I wouldn't go so far as to put it up on the very nice list, but it's definitely nice. It's a movie I really liked watching. I'm glad I spent the $6 adding it to my library. So yeah, I liked it. Nice movie.
Okay. Enzo?
See, I mean, yeah, I kind of would put it on nice or okay, but the thing is, are we rating it like based on like just as a movie in general or like as a holiday themed horror movie? There's a lot. Like, is it actually scary? Is it
Ooh.
bloody? Is it fun? Is it festive? Like, is it like holiday, like crucial holiday viewing,
I would
But,
say
you know,
rate it
is
how
it also
you
like-
wanna rate it.
I mean, is it really a good movie, like to where you'd watch it a year round? I'd say so. I mean, it's definitely aesthetic wise, like especially the opening scene, it's like peak Christmas vibes. Same thing with like the rest of the movie. Michael Dougherty really specialized in doing the trick or treat movie, making it really Halloween themed. I think he did a good job with this one. So, I mean, I would put it on the very nice list if we're judging it based on just like holiday movies. Is it that kind of fun vibe? But if it's like just a movie in general rating, I'd probably put it on the nice list. It's definitely one of the better movies of the selection, top 5, top 10 at least.
Enzo, you made me just realize I only put the tier list together, but if you want to create a rating system, let's talk for the next tier. I was like, let's do it. But okay, very cool. I think we're rating it overall as a Christmas horror movie. So I wouldn't necessarily rate it based if you're going to watch it year round, though there are a couple movies on here that you might, but I think we should just stick to that. Like, is this something you're going to reach for every holiday
Comparing
season?
it to just other holiday movies as opposed to all the horror movies. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you're thinking nice list as well?
I'd put it on a very nice list if we're just comparing it to the Christmas stuff, you know?
Okay. Very nice. We got nice, very nice. Vex?
So this was the first time I had watched this movie as well. So I'm sorry, Tyrannosaurus Vex, Christmas themed.
There you go.
I thought it was like, it's not a top tier horror movie. I wasn't very scared, but I loved the effects for everything. The creature designs were very cool. I liked that everyone gets screwed over by the end of the film too. Like I like that they did that little redirect, right? And I like Toni Collette a lot. The cast is pretty great. So I'm going to rank this. I would probably rewatch this for fun on top. So I'm going to say like a middle of the line, like okay to nice.
Okay. To me, this is a very nice. It's one of my favorite horror movies to watch during the holiday season. Ever since I've seen it, I've watched it probably every single holiday season. It's just, and I like the fact that, like you said, Vex, no, everybody kind of gets their up and coming at the end of it. No one is safe, and I like the Krampus design, and the CGI to me holds up so far over the last couple of years. So I would put it very nice. So I'm thinking, I guess middle ground would be nice list.
Yeah, I think it balances up nice.
Nice or bottom of very nice, I'd say.
I appreciate that the movie just it had the cojones to fully commit to its premise and not pull punches for what it was trying to do. I appreciated that a lot. I mean, it's a wacky movie, but once that gets rolling, it doesn't apologize for it. So yeah, I dug it.
I'm sad Uninspired Review isn't here because I was on the Two Hosts episode for Krampus, and one thing we really gushed over. And I'd compare this to all movies. This movie really has awesome sound design, like really top tier sound design.
Adam Gray's right, by the way. That movie is horrifying.
Yeah, that is good.
But for not the same reasons as some of these.
Derek, thank you for joining the chat, sir. We are covering horror Christmas movies and Thanksgiving movies.
Yeah, so no Die Hard on the list.
Yeah, no Home Alone. I know. No. Well, I guess Home Alone 1 to me is a horror movie because those guys should have died quite a few times.
Dude, the brick scene.
Home Alone 2 is even worse.
The brick scene is like, how do you survive the brick scene? Like, Marv has a head made out of aluminum or titanium.
There's that. He's set on fire. He has cement dropped on him. He's electrocuted. They fall about 4 or 5 stories.
Is Better Watch Out on this list still?
No, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, okay. I was just you reminding me of the brick, and there was a guy that gets a paint can to the face. And
there's a few that could have been on this list, like Rare Exports or we watched this dumb alien movie with alien drug dealers and cops with Dolph Lundgren. It's called I Come in Peace, but that is technically a Christmas movie. It takes place around Christmas. There's a bunch of them.
There's so many of them that I think next year we can do different ones. So I'm saving each list we do so that we can just do a different one. They're going to get darker and darker. I just want to say shout out to Tabletop Junkie Games. Thank you for liking and subbing. Join us to the dark side. All right. So Krampus is our first one on the nice list. Some of these movies. All right. Next one. I do have a clip.
Nice tits, bitch.
Oh, fuck. ThanksKilling. A homicidal turkey axes off college kids during a Thanksgiving break. I'm going to start with this one and we'll go downwards. I think this is a lump of coal. I hate this movie. I don't like the puppeteering. I don't like how gross it looked. I was not having a good time. Vex.
I didn't get a chance to watch like half of this list, so unfortunately I did not watch this one, but based on that clip alone, I would say that goes on the very nice list. That looks like it's right up my alley. That looks amazing.
What is
Yeah.
that movie that I've suffered through this year?
The Velocipaster, you mean
yes.
peak creative filmmaking that you
Yeah.
disagreed with.
When you watch ThanksKilling for MMM, don't invite me. Enzo.
Yeah, me and Gord King actually watched this together, and you could
Mhm.
watch a full-length commentary of that on my channel last Thanksgiving. And yeah, we had a blast watching this. I would definitely put this affectionately on the naughty list. It's got a really low budget. It's got really bad effects. The people that tried to make it are incompetent, but there's like a passion behind it. Everyone had fun making this stupid movie. It is raunchy. It is violent. It makes no sense. And it definitely tries to have fun with itself. Like there's a part where the father is like a sheriff type character,
Mhm.
and the turkey kills that father and wears his face. And the kids come home to see dad, and it's a turkey wearing a face of a man, and they're like, "Hey, dad, how's it going?" It's so ridiculous. It's insane. So I'd put it on
Sounds
the naughty
awesome.
list. Yeah. It's not unwatchable. It's a piece of crap, but it's fun. It's real fun.
No. Gord.
So I would first off, Velocipaster. This is not. This Velocipaster would be beyond the very nice list.
Oh, yeah,
would
you
just be
couldn't-
sitting. It would just be sitting atop the word tier maker because it is the standard.
Mhm.
But I would say, okay, I don't think ThanksKilling is probably good on its own. If you're watching this on your own, you kind of need someone to laugh along with you at just all the
Totally.
silliness and all how ridiculous it is. But that if you have friends around, you can watch it with them, then it has some value. So yeah, I tend to agree with Enzo. I'd put it probably on the naughty list. I mean, Lump of Coal, don't get me wrong. It's like if someone rates it there, that makes complete sense. It's an awful movie, but it does have some value if you watch it with friends and are just poking fun.
Yeah, Lump of Coal would be unwatchable movies, which there are a few on this list.
Oh.
Yes.
Tabletop says ThanksKilling. Nope. There's a couple that are like nope in this. Okay, so we have one lump of coal and two naughties, so it is going on the naughty list. Next up, which is another great movie. Hold on.
Ever try a lady finger?
This movie was awesome. Oh my goodness.
The Gingerdead Man, an evil yet adorable gingerbread man, comes to life with the soul of a convicted killer. This real-life cookie monster wreaks havoc on a girl who has sent the killer to the electric chair. Same guy who did Evil Bong series as well, and there's actually a Gingerdead Man versus Evil Bong movie as well. Gord, we're gonna start with you.
I would put it also for similar reasons. I would put it on the same tier as ThanksKilling, though this is a much funnier movie to watch with friends. There's like this one actually is like genuinely funny. This one might even be okay to watch on your own if you're up for that kind of thing. I mean, the fact that it's like Gary Busey just adds a whole level of comedy on its own. I had a pretty fun time watching this. It's a terrible film. It's complete nonsense. None of it makes a lick of sense, but yeah, this is actually quite a bit funnier, I think, than ThanksKilling, but not enough to where I would be willing to say, oh, it's okay. It's like, no, it's stupid, but it naughty list, naughty tier.
Enzo.
Yeah, I'd agree with Gord. We also watched this movie together last year on my channel. So again, like when I was going to watch this one and then ThanksKilling, I just
wasn't
pulled up.
this the first movie we watched together?
This is the first movie I made you watch with me. Yeah. Good times. You had full commentary on that one. I just revisiting that was fun in general. But just like ThanksKilling, it's schlocky, it's awful. But I'd say the filmmakers who made this one are much more competent. This definitely, it's got really bad budget and just silliness. But these people, like, they knew what they were doing, and they're working well with the limitations they had. You could tell that there's like some pros behind it doing a stupid movie. And Gary Busey, you have a celebrity playing the puppet monster this time. So I put it above ThanksKilling on the naughty list for sure.
Okay. Ooh.
Next.
Well, I'm gonna go completely left turn on this. I'm gonna put this at okay or nice because I really enjoy these types of movies, and this was stupid as heck, and I had so much fun with it. That's why it is by no means like a top tier movie. It's not very scary, but I think just the amount of fun I had with it is why I would rank it higher.
A problem I had with it though, and we realized this when we first watched it, it's not a holiday themed movie. It's just about gingerbread. There's no Christmas element, which I was kind of disappointed with, and I'm hoping the sequels kind of play more into the Christmas vibe. But yeah, it's just gingerbread. I thought gingerbread. We and Gord King realized, like, wait a minute, gingerbread. I guess you can eat that year round, can't you? I didn't even think of that.
You could. People usually don't, right? There's that
gingerbread houses and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I was thinking because I was like, gingerbread houses you build during the season.
It's because in the wintertime, you run out of fruits and vegetables, so you make cakes out of carrots and ginger and shit like that. So it makes sense.
To answer Matt Cat's question, no, I don't think there's boobs in that movie. I think there is.
There's boobs in ThanksKilling. It starts with a porn star running around naked in a park that they didn't have a permit to film in. So they're filming in a public park with a hooker running around with their tits out.
Now I definitely have to watch this. Oh.
You should definitely watch ThanksKilling.
Okay.
Turkey grapes a girl in that movie.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
The turkey pulls the stranger on some girl. The old switcheroo.
Sold. Totally sold.
Similar to what Jack Frost did in, I think, the second one with the tub scene.
But way worse. Worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going with Vex on this one. To me, it's an okay, because I had fun because I was watching it with someone else, and it was enjoyable and just making fun of it. I wouldn't say it's a naughty, but at the same time, I don't think I would reach back out for it again. But I would be interested in Gingerdead Man versus Evil Bong, at least.
Yeah, that's the third one, actually, which is funny.
Because I think it goes Gingerdead Man, Evil Bong, and then
there's a Gingerdead Man 2, I think.
2, and then it's the verses.
Yeah, the crossover, the multiverse.
So I'm guessing this is going, where are we going? Naughty or okay?
I mean, at the top of the naughty or the bottom of the okay list?
I think okay, actually, because if it's we had a couple of nice adjacent, so it seems okay would make sense.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. So next up on the list.
Wait a minute. Okay, so just so you know, Gingerdead 2 is called The Passion of the Crust.
Right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
By the way, I've reached out to the guy who created these puppets multiple times to try to interview him. One of my friends knows him, so I'm trying very hard to get him to be interviewed on my channel, because I'm like, I just want to ask.
On red, dog.
Yeah, don't be leaving me on red, man. Don't be doing that. Hi, Toxic. Yes, Heretic was really good.
I've watched about 40 minutes of it so far. I really like it.
Dang. Yeah, it's on digital now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
LT missed us praising Toni Collette a minute ago from Krampus. Darn.
And in Gingerdead 3 is called Saturday Night Cleaver.
Oh,
not
there's
as
a
good.
one. So the Evil Bong crossover is the fourth installment?
I guess, yeah.
Probably.
Or it's the prequel.
It's like finding more Christmas presents like in the house under the tree. Like, oh, there's another one. Oh, yay.
Oh, man, there's so many Silent Nights. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That's crazy.
There's 5 of them.
Next one, I think, spoiler to me, was a disappointment. So next one is...
Contacted me to inform you that they will not be able to offer paid breaks tonight. Thank you for your understanding.
Man, oh man. So Black Friday from 2021, a group of toy store employees must protect each other from a horde of parasite-infected shoppers, basically zombies. I really wanted to like this movie. I think it's okay. I think Bruce Campbell adds a little charm to it, but I think overall it was a disappointment to me. Like, as somebody who has worked at during Black Friday, not enough pain and suffering in that movie for it. Vex, thoughts?
I fell asleep on this one. I really tried to I started it twice and I fell asleep both times. But from the 25-30 minutes I watched, like you said, Bruce Campbell, he's a nice addition and he definitely brings up a lot of the movie that I did see, but this was just boring. I couldn't get into it whatsoever. So I'm gonna put it lump of coal.
Wow. Okay. All right. I was being nice. Enzo.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's unwatchable. It's funny because it's got a way better budget. It really kicks off like just starts. There's a alien invasion in Black Friday, kind of just like right out the gate, and there's some fun, actors and stuff. But yeah, it's funny because it's still worse than both Gingerdead Man and ThanksKilling. I don't think I'd put it on the lump of coal. I'd probably put it, top of the lump of coal, bottom of the naughty list. I mean, I wouldn't want to watch it again. It's just a lot of the classic, people stuck in a building dealing with zombie type alien body snatcher type characters. And, if you've seen one of those movies, you've seen this one, kind of thing. Not a lot of Michael Jai White's in it. There's some, there's some interesting elements in it, but yeah, it just didn't really land. A for effort, though, I guess. But also A for being one of the few Black Friday related horror movies. So if you're looking for if you're looking for a specific Black Friday Halloween or horror movie, I think this is one of the only ones, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If
isn't Thanksgiving sort of partially Black Friday?
Yeah. Same thing with the Krampus kind of starting with a Black Friday-esque scene.
But no movie focused 100% on just Black Friday, which I think is just this one.
But there's a lot of missed opportunities this movie could have done centered around that aspect of Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, the movie Thanksgiving kind of centers around Black Friday, but it's early starting Black Friday, which I mean, so cheating a little bit, I guess, with the concept. But I didn't watch this movie, by the way. I have no opinion whatsoever. This one, I remember seeing trailers for it. I was a little intrigued because of Bruce Campbell. I remember the reception for it. It disappeared. It seemed off the face of the earth right after it came out, and I was like, "Oh, it must not have been very good."
You know what I was happy about? There's an effeminate, obnoxious African American fellow who is very annoying, and I thought he was definitely going to survive. He ends up being the main asshole that gets his comeuppance at the end, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, I don't think I would reach for this again, unfortunately, which sucks because I really like retail. The setting's really good. One of my favorite horror movies is in horror books is set in a retail setting. But yeah, I think they've a lot of missed opportunity here for them. So I'm thinking end of naughty or lump of coal. Because I think there's still worse movies on this list than it.
Way worse. That's the thing. Is like I said, it's worse than ThanksKilling for sure. But it's leagues better than some of the movies on this list. So get ready. This tier list stream is gonna be full of hurt. We're gonna go through some pain here.
Speaking of hurt. I fucking hated this movie. I hated the way it was lit. I hated just storyline. It made no sense that Santa showed up in certain place. This robot Santa showed up. It's basically about Santa going after anybody,
a robot Santa.
Yeah, anybody who's on his naughty list. So to me, this is a lump of coal. But Gord, I'll let you start first.
I couldn't get through this one, so I could barely tell you anything about it. I checked out on this. This was fell asleep, thought it was too stupid to even invest in. So yeah, this for me would be a lump of coal.
Enzo?
Yeah, I'd put this on the lump of coal too. I mean, I enjoyed watching it. It's stupid, but no, actually I take it back because I was excited at first. It's filmed in widescreen. It's got some very obnoxious, colorful lighting going on, but my big problem with it, you got a killer robot Santa that goes crazy. Why does he go crazy? For no reason, right?
Yeah, just for no reason.
How does he have a naughty list? There is some cool imagery of robot Santa towards the end. It's very much like Terminator, where he's half exoskeleton running around with green laser eyes, and it's cool imagery. But the problem is, especially the first half of the movie, you got two main characters who just will not shut up, and they're just talking about the most obnoxious, banal, vomitary dialogue. It just never stops. And then one of them dies, thankfully, but it's still the woman just yap 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 the whole movie. And it's just holy shit, shut up. So yeah, lump of coal just for the incessant yammering about nothing.
Yeah. I regret watching this movie. That's how much I wow, look, I'm so sorry. I like the lighting, the music, and the chemistry of the two characters and some of the sexy scenes. Listen, girl, horror is for everyone. There's somebody loves that. I fucking hate Velocipaster. These two think it's God tier on this list.
He's three. I think three of us love it.
Okay, it's God tier on this list. All right, so all right, but welcome. Vex, did you watch Bloody Christmas.
I sadly did not get a chance to watch this
All
one,
right.
but now it sounds like I don't need to bother.
There's definitely some dope kills in it, and again, like for a low budget, like student-esque film, like the lighting's obnoxious, but it looks neat. There's some stuff in it, but yeah, it's still leagues better than a lot of movies on the list. We're still nowhere near the bottom of the naughty list here, or lump of coal list.
We got quite a few more to go, and that being said, another one that I think should be on the lump.
I'm fine.
Spoilers.
Is it? Well, the movie's been out for since 2019.
5 years. Yeah.
Pilgrim, a woman invents I have no idea. To produce an authentic first Thanksgiving for her family and friends. However, things take an unexpected turn when the reenactors. Thank you. When the actors refuse to break. I've had a rough week. So
You're good.
Gord, I'll start with you. Oh, you know what? Yeah, Gord, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I didn't see this one, but his name isn't Scott. He didn't verse the world, so lump of coal.
Lump of coal. Enzo.
Now, this one and the previous one I watched for the first time for this marathon, and I was disappointed to see that this is like a Hulu. They were doing like a Hulu Nights of Horror type thing, and this was one of their installments. And this movie feels like it would have been better if it was like a 20-minute installment on an anthology. And for some reason, they extended it to a full-length movie. That sucks. The main actress is pretty. There's not a lot going for it, though. It's weird and boring and doesn't even make you want to crave like Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? Like it could have at least done that.
Yeah.
I would say worse than Christmas Bloody Christmas.
I would agree, actually. At least Christmas Bloody Christmas had a story that they were trying to tell. Yeah, this one, nothing. But Vex, what about you?
I watched this like during lockdowns, I remember. But this is one of the movies that really started me on the Blumhouse just puts out shit now. They're committing to that. So this was boring to me. There was nothing interesting about it. None of the actors really felt like they had chemistry from what I remember on top of that. And the entire movie just felt pointless. It was like this was genuinely a waste of my time.
So it's going on a lump of coal. Are we all agreement there?
Bottom of the list so far.
Bottom of the list too, yeah. Okay. Womp womp womp. Blumhouse. All right. Next up. The Lodge from 2019. A soon-to-be stepmom is snowed in with her fiancé, 2 children at a remote holiday village. Just as relations begin to thaw between the trio, some strange and frightening events take place. Vex.
I wanted to rewatch this because I also watched this during lockdowns, and I remember kind of enjoying it. But I can't give an accurate rating though because I don't fully remember this one.
Okay. All right. Enzo.
I put it on the very nice list. I didn't see it before, and I watched it, and this is the movie I think I was most surprised with how good it was. And you definitely knew, like, it's a post-quarantine movie. But I love movies that, technically it's a Christmas movie, and there's like a little bit of Christmas stuff. But it's a great, like, it's cold outside, we're snowed in. A movie where you want to feel cozy in a cabin type vibes. But yeah, this movie was genuinely spooky. And has a great ending, and great performances from the 2 kids and the it's basically 3 actors, plus a dad, and I mean I put it on the very nice list, if not the nice list. I was pleasantly surprised by it. In terms of like just a movie in general, as far as a holiday movie, maybe not as crucial viewing as Krampus, but yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I liked it.
Gord?
Well, this one, as you know, this is the one where I ended up watching a half hour of the wrong movie that was also called. So, and I am disappointed by that because this would have ended up being the last movie I saw before the stream, and this one I was actually very interested in seeing, so I am going to check this one out. But yeah, I watched 30 minutes of the wrong movie. That one was, I guess, okay, but I have no idea how good or bad this is.
I'm not joking. I think The Lodge was the only movie on the list that actually got some creeps out of me. You know, actually creeped me out a bit.
Same, Enzo.
Might have to rewatch that tonight then.
I'm with you. I think it should be either bottom of the very nice list or top of the nice list. It's a good slow burn. It gets under your skin. It's very creepy, very unexpected for what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with either it being on the very nice list or on the top of the nice list, just because I know at least it should be above Krampus.
Yeah, like I said, if we're just judging on holidays related viewing, maybe right behind Krampus, or right next to Krampus, either to the left or the right. I don't know. It's definitely a better movie than Krampus in terms of movies in general.
I would watch The Lodge non-holiday season.
Right, exactly. And also considering what they're working with, Krampus had a huge budget and major theatrical distribution, whereas The Lodge, I didn't even hear of this movie. This is like a COVID, straight to streaming movie or something. I don't know. But very talented performances, filmed on location. So that saved a lot of, icy lake type vibes, cabin in the woods. I don't know. It was impressive.
I'm going to put it there. And as we build out the very nice list, because there are a couple that should be on the very nice list, we'll see if we have to move it. Because I have a feeling as we fill this in, we might start moving things, realizing certain movies are better than others. Okay. So the next one is, where is it? There it is. So Thanksgiving 2023 to me revitalized the holiday horror movies in the last couple of years, which just says a lot coming from me because I absolutely despise Eli Roth. After a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving-inspired killer terrorized Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. So to me, this movie should be either nice or very nice list. It's fun. I've rewatched it a couple of times throughout the year, and I'm actually very interested to see how the sequel is going to be playing out to it. Vex.
Oof, this is a lump of coal for me. You know what? Just like, okay, it's I'll give like some of the kills credit, I think, because some of them were pretty cool. Like I liked the whole oven death scene, and there was a guy that gets his head just like impaled by a ship. I thought that was pretty cool. But all of the characters, every single character was absolutely insufferable. It made the movie very hard to watch. In terms of like the Thanksgiving setting, it was really just an aesthetic. It doesn't really try to get into the vibe of being thankful or anything like that. The killer was pretty predictable on top of that. I also dislike Eli Roth. All of his movies either, make me want to have diarrhea, or they induce some sort of memory loss. So I'm sorry, but this is a lump of coal for me. I will never touch this movie again with a 20-foot pole.
Well, it was nice seeing Vex.
Oh.
Enzo.
Yeah, I'm kind of more meh about this movie. It definitely has that great turkey scene at the end of the movie where that was me and Mom got a kick out of that one for sure. But Tim Dillon's in it. That's always a plus points on my list. But yeah, kind of like Vex said, like Thanksgiving setting is kind of incidental, and it's just a slasher film. Like definitely below Krampus. I'd maybe even put it below Gingerdead Man. And because I would probably rewatch Gingerdead Man before this, but not an affront to all that's holy, good, got some great violence and special effects, and it does get that kind of Thanksgiving late fall aesthetic kind of down properly. But yeah, just didn't really love it, didn't really hate it, I put it kind of like in the middle of the list so far, like above ThanksKilling before after Gingerdead Man,
We're gonna be fighting, guys. Gord.
It's okay. So, of all the movies I watched on this list, this is the most frustrating movie because for everything it does right, it does something equally wrong. I think Vex is 100% right that the characters in this movie are utterly insufferable. I think that the movie kind of doesn't seem to be able to figure out if it's like, okay, so the opening Black Friday scene, in hindsight, is not a good scene because it makes like that opening scene made me think, okay, so is this leaning horror comedy? But it very much wants to be taken seriously, and that scene in hindsight's really stupid. But the overall like plot and everything they're using, and like the killer's look and his actual kills, that's all really good. I even like kind of the strange like plot they've got going on, how the killer's getting all the revenge. All that stuff is really, really cool. But I do not like any of the characters. I think there are this movie like has so many red herrings, but it doesn't know what to do with them. Like usually when you have a red herring, you utilize that so you can actually add depth to one or two characters or something like that. They're really just there to be there. A lot of them they don't even bother to explore. They're just kind of possibilities. So I really felt like this movie could have been a lot more. So I'm completely down the middle with this. It's okay. I would put it in okay.
All right, so we're still kicking Vex out then. All right, so it's going to. All right, so
it averages out to okay, but yeah.
Sorry.
Like I would put it over Gingerdead Man. I would be willing to revisit this like every bit as much, if not a little bit more than Gingerdead Man. But yeah, that movie it really frustrated me.
See, I did revisit it, and first time I watched it, definitely guessed who the killer was right out the gate. And
I didn't. I don't know how I missed it.
It's pretty. Yeah, I was just like, well, it's gonna be that guy.
How is it obvious? When I even rewatched it, I was like, how is it obvious?
It's not like obvious based on what's happening in the movie. It's just obvious when you have a lineup of all the characters, and you're
I'll
like,
tell you
okay,
what makes it obvious. It's because it's the red herring. They point you at the least, and it's like, so it's like. It's like it tries a little like because almost everybody around that isn't a target is kind of a suspect. So, and when I started to realize, well, they're not really exploring a lot of these options, so I'm inclined to think it's whoever they're pointing at the least. And I was like, well, that would be Patrick Dempsey. He seems the least likely of the suspects, and that it's him. It's like, of course it's him.
See,
it was sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead, Vic.
I was gonna say it was two things that gave it away. A, Patrick Dempsey, he's the biggest star in the entire movie. Of course, he's gonna have a pretty big role. And B, the first time we see him, and it's something that's never touched on for the rest of the movie, is how he's such a great catch, but he's still single.
Right.
Caught up in I caught that they were a thing within about a second. I was like, oh, they're.
Also, Patrick Dempsey, the idea that, he's an actor, so probably wants to play a different type of role, hint.
Not
hint,
McDreamy,
Yeah.
Like Hugh Grant for
right.
Heretic.
Yeah. But that's the other thing is like when I rewatched Gingerdead Man, I liked it more watching it a second time, whereas this one I enjoyed it a lot less than the first time I watched it second time around.
So I think it's going on the okay list between Very Nice and Love Nicole.
Sorry, Nadia. I know you had your hopes up for that one.
It's all right.
To be fair, that's pretty good considering the three of us kind of trudged through the mud. So.
I want to say hi, Trina. Hello, Trina. I can't say names. I'm sorry. Hello, Polly. Hello. First 20 minutes. Zax, I saw your rare exports. I'm gonna write that down for next year because we'll change out our horror movies for next year. Neither did I. See, I'm not the only one who didn't pick up on Miss McDreamy. And I saw this in theaters. And had a good
if the Sisu director made it, because Sisu's awesome.
Oh, yeah, Sisu's great.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. It's
so much fun. It's so much fun.
I know. I have to get around to seeing it. I just haven't seen it yet.
It's basically if you isolated one of Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards and just watched him kill people the whole movie, it's great.
Yeah, I would say it's like John Wick, but end of World War II in Finland. That's it.
The Star Wars Holiday had unintentional horror vibes. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah, the bantha cooking scene, and also Chewie's father-in-law is the stuff of nightmares.
Gosh.
Lumpy. Yeah.
Right now in the poll, we've got 43% of you think you're on the nice list, and 57% of you think you're on the naughty list. So if you're on either list, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and please share the stream out to everybody. Thank you very much. And then I'll make sure you're on the nice list or naughty list if you want to be. I got the big guy's ear. I'll tell him. All right, moving on. We're gonna do next one.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984. Little Billy witnesses his parents getting killed by Santa after being warned by his senile grandpa that Santa punishes those who are naughty. Now Billy is 18 and out of the orphanage, and he has just become Santa himself. That is a really bad description. Anyway, I love this movie. I think it's fun. Vex.
This was one I've watched, but I didn't get a chance to rewatch. But from memory, I really, really enjoyed this. Like, this is one of the few holiday movies that stands out in my memory when you talk about holiday horror. I think it balances the horror, the slasher, and the Christmassy vibes really well. I was a fan of the effects. And it's got high rewatch value. I know this has been remade a couple times. I haven't seen any of the remakes. I'm gonna give this a nice. I like this movie a lot.
Okay. A nice. We got a nice. Enzo.
Yeah, I'd also put it at the bottom of the nice list so far. Really good horror holiday stuff. And also the first movie, just talk about the first movie. It's a great like slasher film with like first blood vibes, because like you kind of feel sorry for the guy. And this movie was like really controversial because you have Santa Claus running around killing people, but it really should have been more focused on like the fact that it's this kid who grew up and he's psychologically traumatized, and he's kind of like, you know, he's not like evil, he's just like been pushed to the edge, you know. And the fact that he's wearing a Santa outfit is just kind of incidental based on like his past history going on with what the incident he had as a young child. But I watched all 5 of these movies. I watched the 4 sequels, and when you look at this entire franchise like that, this is a pretty awesome, hilarious holiday horror movies, you know. And you know, the first 3 are all related to this slasher killer guy, and then 4 and 5 are just like off the wall insane. Halloween 3, just like what the hell's going on. Mickey Rooney's in the 5th one, you know. It's just like yeah, it's nuts. So like, just when you compare all 5 of them, or when you can, there's a remake too, when you compare all the movies, it definitely goes on the nice list. And just this first one also, I just put out the bottom of the nice list so far. It's good.
Okay. Bottom of the nice list. Gord, sorry. My brain went like, what? Where am I? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm operating off of long distant memory on this one. I had this kind of at the back of the watch list because I was like, I know I've seen it before, and I remember at the very least my level of enjoyment. I would say it's okay. I remember kind of having a reaction to this similar to Thanksgiving, though better than Thanksgiving, because I don't think it's as frustrating. But I don't remember a ton about it. I would have to rewatch it to know exactly where I stand. But I do remember the first time I saw it, I was like, that was all right. I didn't hate it.
2 reasons why it should be put on the nice list. First of all, the director's cut, or the unrated edition, is way better. There's so much more like kill scenes that have been inserted into the movie. But also, this movie got a lot of flack and was pulled from theaters because of the controversial Santa killing kids, killing people. That's not, you know, this movie really suffered because of angry parents. And then meanwhile, when the remake came out, Christmas, Santa Claus killing people, like no one had a problem with it, you know, 30, 40 years later. So yeah, I think this movie should get some sympathy points because it was given a raw deal, you know.
I didn't know that.
It should be on the nice list. It's Santa with a gun. So I'm sold.
Yeah. I love it when there's a variety of kills when you have a slasher film. The slasher, I hate it when the slasher has like a specific way of killing people and they just do that all over and over.
Gets old fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you have a gun, that's another thing. Like slashers, like Jason never used a gun. And I'm like, yeah, but imagine if he did, like how scary he'd be if he had a gun, you know?
I would think his hands are too swollen from being dead for so long that he probably can't get his finger around a trigger. I'm just
give him a handgun with no trigger guard. Yeah.
I think this should be on the nice list, but should it be before the lodge or after or before? or
I
after
put it below,
Krampus?
I put it before after Krampus because I mean
Okay.
it is low budget and unless you're a big horror fan, slasher fan, you're probably gonna find this movie very schlocky, crappy.
It seems like it would average out a little as the lowest of the nice list right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on to a sequel. One of our first sequels on the list.
What? We cannot break bread with you. Huh? Becky, what's going on? Wednesday.
Addams Family Values. The Addams family tried to rescue their beloved Uncle Fester from a gold-digging new love Black Widow named Debbie. I love this movie. But I love the first one way more. I don't think this lives up to the first one as well. I would put it anywhere, probably right around the okay list, the top of the okay list. It's not a bad sequel, but I just love the first one so much. This one just seems a little bit more messier than the first one. Vex.
I honestly didn't know this movie existed until you put it on a list because I'd seen the first Addams Family movie and really enjoyed it. I didn't know there was a sequel, and I didn't get to watch this one either. So no comment from me, unfortunately.
Jesus, I would put this one on the very nice list because
Really?
yeah, rewatching it. First of all, yeah, the first one's great too. I would say this one's funnier than the first one. The first one's a better movie, but yeah, rewatching it for the 20th time, this year, it is a laugh a minute. It is literally a laugh a minute. This movie's hilarious, and it's just such a refreshing breath of fresh air where you get to laugh at a movie, and it's just being funny for the funny sake. But also, you could argue like, oh, this movie is not very holiday themed. I would disagree because yes, there's the great Thanksgiving reenactment scene, but also, It represents the core values of the holiday season, which is family and togetherness and all that good stuff. And the Addams family, they're very weird, but they exemplify all the traditional traits of a modern nuclear family, even though they're super gothy, but it's just a funny ass movie. So I would put it at the very nice list. Just a great filmmaking prowess by Barry Levinson. But yeah, I'd be fine putting it on the nice or okay list because it is a weird Addams Family value movie. But I thought it was hilarious. So,
all right. I mean, we all can't agree on everything, otherwise we all would be very boring. Gord.
Relative to the competition, I would agree this is a very nice movie.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that the first one is definitely a better movie. Like this is by no means like a 10 out of 10, great movie, but I'm like looking across the competition. I actually think this is one of like the top like 3 or 4 movies on this entire list. I agree this is a little bit funnier than the first one. By the way, this low key has some hilarious race jokes against Native Americans.
Dude.
It's like you are as civilized as we, except we wear shoes that have last names.
Dude, Wednesday's little boyfriend, a lot of like self-deprecating Jewish jokes that are so hilarious.
A lot of that, a lot of like there's a joke where like they put the kid in the lodge and there's this giant poster of Michael Jackson. He starts screaming all traumatized.
What's crazy is that was a few months before the allegations came out.
Yeah, like there's some very like in what today would be considered like very inappropriate humor, which makes it's aged really well in that regard.
But also the Michael Jackson joke is so funny because like the kids start screaming for no reason, and then you cut to what he's screaming at, and it's a poster of "Heal the World." It's just like
yeah. Plus, like Disney, like the whole scene where they basically like brainwash them by making them watch Disney movies and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of really good humor in this. Joan Cusack is a fantastic villain for this series. Like she's a better villain than what the first movie had overall.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
she's
like
also hot. She's also sexy in this movie, which
she's pretty hot in this movie too.
Yeah, say that.
She's kind of hot in this movie. She kind of is. Yeah,
she's like sucking on things, fingers and stuff, and just like, what in the world?
If looking at it for what the lineup is, I guess I can agree that it could, with the lineup we have, it probably is one of the movies that should be on the very nice list.
The very nice list is very empty right now.
I feel, and it has, for me at least, it has a lot of rewatch value. I've probably watched Addams Family Values 10 or 15 times. I
have this movie practically memorized, and I'm still laughing a lot, watching it. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving
By
on.
the way, low key, one funny little fact about that movie: the blonde headed girl is kind of Wednesday's foil. She actually is in the first movie.
Yeah,
she's the
she's
Girl
one of the trick or
Scout.
treaters.
She's
Or no,
the
Girl
Girl
Scout,
Scout.
Yeah. Trick or treaters at the end of Addams
I'll
Family
buy a
Values.
cup of your lemonade if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
I didn't know there was a Santa Jaws. That'll have to be for next year.
Oh my
What?
god! Santa Jaws.
I'm telling you, listen. As long as we stay friends, we're gonna be doing this for many years to come.
Oh my
Like,
god,
there-
it's a shark underwater for the image, and there's just a Santa hat on it. As it's swimming.
Nice.
That's-
On the fin.
I'm gonna have to add it for next year for our list.
and it's on
Okay.
Tubi, easy to find.
Yeah.
Of course. Santa Jaws instead
That was
of
something I
Claus.
forgot to mention was Christmas Bloody Christmas would have benefited from a robot pun, Santa
Yeah.
title.
Yeah. Next on the list is one of my favorites.
Well, it ain't fucking Frosty.
All right, listen, I'm going to plead the case. I know these movies are bad. I know both the first and the second one, they're terrible movies. But I saw these movies, and not to be mistaken, we're talking about Jack Frost from 1997, not to be mistaken with the Michael Keaton Jack Frost. After an accident that
God.
left a murderer, Jack Frost dead in a genetic material that vengeful killer returns as a murderous snowman to exact his revenge on a man who sent him to be executed. Which, by the way, the sequel, he's like in the Bahamas or something to that
Yeah.
extent, and yet still a snowman. I saw this movie way too young, and I loved it. To me, it's on, I would say, the naughty list, top of the naughty list, because it is a guilty pleasure for me. Gord, we're gonna start bottom to top. Gord, what do you think?
I would rate it pretty much where you just did, kind of at the top of the night. Like, it's a higher quality version of those other movies we've got there where it's schlock, but this one is a little bit more like self-aware. I might even be inclined to go okay. Like, I guess my issue with it is I think it could have been significantly funnier. Like, it's not without its laughs. It has some here and there. It's just for 90 minutes. It's like I'm hoping to laugh a bit more than it allowed me to. And I mean, it's not a movie that has like really like great kills or anything like that. And it's kind of relying on the same joke over and over again. But overall, it was a fun watch. I had a decent time with it. So I'd probably go like top of the naughty, bottom of okay, something like that.
Okay, all right. Enzo.
Yeah, top of the naughty list. Yeah, even though this movie is really cheap and most of the laughs are ironic, like laughing at the movie, it's just, it's great. It's fun. And the Riff Tracks episode for this is awesome. And Shannon Elizabeth, she's hot. Like in the Riff Tracks, they say she's the straight to video version of Phoebe Cates. And yeah, it's just a fun, stupid movie. But yeah, definitely guilty pleasure. Definitely bad, but in a good way. So I like this movie. This movie's classic, and it's funny because it is better than the Michael Keaton Jack Frost movie.
Jack Frost movie.
And arguably, the Michael Keaton movie is scarier.
Yeah, it's true. I think when I recommended this to somebody and they're like, "Oh, the Michael Keaton movie, I've seen it." No. You have not seen this movie. I'm telling you, if you're thinking just the Michael Keaton. Vex.
I actually started watching the Michael Keaton movie when I saw this on the list. And I was like, this can't possibly be what you mean. So I had to type in Jack Frost horror movie. I pulled it up to start it, but I didn't get to rewatch this. Like you though, Nadia, I'd seen this at a very young age, and I remember having a lot of fun with it as well. It was an interesting concept, and I didn't like all the other Christmas because like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Charlie Brown were always on. So from memory, I'm going to rate this as okay because I'd watched it quite a few times as a kid around Christmas.
Okay. Well, I'm pulling host. It's going on the naughty list. Top of the naughty list because it is a guilty pleasure. I always recommend it to people. It's one of my favorites. And since Leon's not here, it's going on the naughty list. So, all right.
I thought Jack Frost 2 was going to be part of this.
I thought so too, but it can be. Give me 1 second.
I was
I don't have
like, I hope I didn't watch that for nothing.
Hey, I watched all five. I watched all four Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels for funsies. All right, I knew they weren't going to be on the list, so we're going to do this again next year, probably, right?
Oh yeah, but I think I originally had added it to the list though.
Yeah.
So give me 1 second, guys. Here, is that it? Yeah, it is. Okay, and we'll do that now. I don't have a clip for it though. All right, Jack Frost.
I mean, I'd feel comfortable just putting Jack Frost 1 and 2 as like one movie, a double feature.
The Mutant Snowman returns to kill more people, and it's,
like the weird thing about the second one is it's a much lower quality movie, and yet at the same time it's actually I think a little bit funnier. Like I actually laughed a little bit more during the second one.
More intentional humor in the sequel.
Yeah, I can remember several times being like this. Like I laughed more during Jack Frost 2 than I did Deadpool and Wolverine.
God,
I'm not even joking.
I'll put it right next to it. I think they should go side by side because I think it's the same movie. They're both like guilty pleasure type movies. Bex, would you agree? Have you seen the second one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so she doesn't count. No, she counts. Vex counts. Vex counts. So the next one I don't have a clip for because I've not seen it, and actually I'm going to move all three of these over. So it's going to be the 2006 Black Christmas. On Christmas Eve, an escaped maniac returns to his child home, which is now a sorority home, and begins murdering the sorority sisters one by one. I've seen this one. I haven't seen the other one. I think this is a shit remake. I think this is a lump of coal compared to what the original is. And
quick. When you said you hadn't seen the other one, what did you mean? Like you
There's
haven't seen the original or the other remake?
The 2019 one. The one where they like expand it with a fraternity house.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know the concept of it. I love the original so much, and to me, the original will be on the very nice list if I have anything to do with it.
Agreed.
It's just so well done. But I think the remake, the 2006 remake, is a lump of coal. Vex.
I'm gonna agree. It is a lump of coal. I did rewatch this one. All around, this movie is just absolutely terrible. Every single character absolutely sucks. There's a bunch of plot lines that just don't make sense as well. I don't know what kind of thing it was going for on top, because like it seems to try and be a bit of like a satire, but then it takes itself really seriously and goes to some really dark places in some of the flashback scenes. The holiday spirit is kind of missing from it too, because all of the characters suck. So you don't like, it feels like, again, Christmas here is also just a purely aesthetic thing, nothing more. So lump of coal, I would never, ever, ever revisit this movie.
All right. Enzo.
I'd agree with Vex, except I would say it's better than Pilgrim. I'd put it above Pilgrim because at least it's pretty over the top in terms of death scenes. And yeah, there's a lot of plot holes. But what's crazy is the 2019 version is 10 times worse. It is so bad. It is ultra woke, feminist, claptrap, down with the patriarchy. That's like the whole premise of the movie. Kind of losing sight of what the first one was all about.
Yeah.
This one, they try to incorporate this weird, like kind of like how Rob Zombie over-explained the back history of Michael Myers. They kind of try that with this one. We don't know, the original Black Christmas is like shrouded in mystery. Whereas this one, they try to over-explain it, and they got this yellow bastard character running around, and it's definitely probably worth watching once. It's garbage. It's not as I would say not worse than Christmas Bloody Christmas, but better than Pilgrim. Pilgrim was awful.
Okay. Gord.
Okay, so I didn't hate watching this.
Gord.
I guess. Oh no, hang on.
Well, I didn't hate it either because I watched it after the 2019 remake.
Okay, well here's the thing. If you didn't, you're kicking me way too early because I haven't even told you what I think of the original.
Oh no!
But here's the thing. Okay, the first 30 minutes where they are explaining stuff, they were doing it in such a way to where I was getting a little bit excited because I thought this movie was going for more of the tone I think this idea would work around, kind of more a comedic, ridiculous, type film, because I think the first one suffers from one really major issue, which we'll get to later. And I thought for a sec this was kind of embracing the horror comedy aspect, but then after those first like 20, 30 minutes, it tries to take itself too seriously and it just devolves into a pretty terrible movie overall. I still got some little bit of enjoyment out of it. I didn't hate watching it overall, but this is a lump of coal. I think it's probably at the top of the lump of coal list for me. Like, as it borders on being on the naughty list, because like I said, I got some enjoyment out of it. There were a couple of times where I laughed, but I felt like it started like it was going in the right direction, and then it tried to take itself seriously, and I was like, no, you should have been more of a comedy.
Well, a lot of hotties in this movie, and a lot of them dying. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they did have a lot of, like, I guess, kind of
famous hotties. Famous hotties too. Yeah,
I mean, they had, like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
Lacey Chabert.
Yeah, it's like they had cute girls in it and stuff, but they were all. I agree, they were pretty insufferable characters overall.
Oh yeah, it's very early, late 2000s.
My favorite scene of that entire movie is when the blonde chick, Katie Cassidy's character, I can't remember, but she's going to go see if that one girl is like if she's missing, because they're like, well, she didn't come down for her present. And as she's walking to go investigate her bedroom, she decides to let her hair down dramatically, as though that's an important thing for investigating a disappearance. That was,
of course it is.
I wish it leaned, like, I agree with you in that it should have leaned more into the comedy element, because I think this movie would have been a lot better if it didn't take itself so seriously.
Yeah,
it was trying to go for the actual, like, violence and chills vibe, and it kind of misses the mark there
pretty heavily.
Yeah, to me, one of the reasons why I love the original is the mystery around Billy, and you kind of have to piece things together about his past in it. So, but we'll get to that. We're going to talk about the 2019 now, Black Christmas. A group of female students is stalked by a stranger during their Christmas break. That until the young sorority pledges discover the killer is part of an underground college conspiracy. And on the actual poster, it says "Slay Girls."
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't watch the movie, but for that reason alone, I'm putting it in a lump of coal.
It's the bottom of the list for me. It was so bad, it's offensive, and like, dude, the poster I saw was like all 5 girls, like, comparing it to the first movie, like, remember the first movie?
And I remember, it's funny you bring that up, and I'm remembering now the trailer for it and thinking, wow, this looks like crap.
The first movie is like about how helpless these girls are, and this one was like the girls are all bloody and badass with like axes in their hands, and like, we're here to kick ass. And of course, it's like there's it's like a fraternity conspiracy in this one, and it's all skull and bones assholes that are all getting slayed at the end, pun intended there. And yeah, it's just cringe, dog, cringe. And this is before the pandemic, but at the heel end of the the woke zeitgeist kind of taking over the mainstream. So it is peak wokeness going on here, peak feminism, third wave feminism all up in this movie. It's like constantly preaching at you. The writer is like this annoying playwright who the director writer combo, or I want to do more deep dive about who these bitches are, because it's awful. It's an awful movie.
Just by the trailer alone. The reason why the original is so good, because it's still a female, I guess not really a female empowering movie, but it's from a female perspective, and it's so well written and done, and you still had strong female characters in the original. The trailer for this one just felt like it was just pushed upon, and just like automatically they're going to all be like Avengers up against those things. Vex, have you seen the 2019?
No, it looked too diverse for me, so I didn't bother.
The movie literally scolded me watching it like 10 times, Did
it? So then question, since you watched it, was it like the 2016 Ghostbusters version of a Christmas horror movie?
No, it's worse than that. It was like,
wow.
It's insane. It's insane. Like, there's a main character who has been a victim of some kind of, SA from one of the fraternity guys. And, they didn't believe her when she came forward. And there's like a history, and, it's so gay. It's awful. It's awful.
Put it this way. I think this is very telling. So I'm looking this up on IMDb. The Metascore is kind of split down the middle, meaning critics were trying to say this wasn't so bad, but the IMDb score is 3.5 out of 10.
Y'all should watch it. It's definitely like, for what we do for fun on YouTube, like, it's crucial viewing into like the mind, that state of mind from the woke mind virus. It's bad. It's bad.
Well, let's talk about something positive, and then we'll kick Gord out.
Billy, X, don't you tell what we did, X.
This is going on the very nice list. I love this movie. I recently had to watch it again for another stream, and I forgot how brutal it is. How, especially from a female, and not saying it from like a woke feminist point of view, but from a female perspective who has gone to college, who has stayed on campus, just like everything got under my skin again. And it's violent, but it's not overly violent. It plays out very well. Like the pacing of it to me, and the fact that Billy is still like this mysterious individual, and you kind of pick up on there's like, he definitely did some things with his sister that he shouldn't have done. And it works for me. Like I reach for this movie every Christmas season. Vex.
I didn't get a chance to, oh my God, sorry. Buttholes in the chat. I didn't get a chance to rewatch this one, but I did watch it a couple years ago. I remember at Christmas time. I think this movie is very iconic. It does the female perspective very well. None of the characters feel insufferable. You can genuinely empathize with a lot of them too. They do walk that line of like kind of not adolescent, but like young adult innocent very well. Like you'd mentioned as well, Billy is kept like he's a mystery, and that really plays up the horror of this film very well. So I would say based off of memory, rewatch factor, as well as the holiday spirit, which I think it embraces pretty well, I'd put this on the very nice list.
It also has Lois Lane in it, and it drops the C word quite a bit.
First time I heard the C word in a movie.
Oh, really?
As a little kid, yeah, watching this as a 5-year-old, 10-year-old.
John Carpenter was inspired to do Halloween by it too.
Yeah,
there was a sequel written for it, like a draft. And I learned this when I was on the other stream. There was a sequel draft written for it that had Billy being escaped from a mental institute. So it's similar to the storyline of Halloween. So it plays into it. But Enzo, go ahead.
Yeah, I put it on the very nice list specifically because of the year it came out, 1974. This is like 3 whole years before Halloween, which gets credit for being like, the first big slasher movie. When technically, yeah, this is like, and also the 70s, it's got that great 70s grittiness to it that all those movies had, that just kind of that gritty realism vibe.
That fur coat Chris would wear. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. And also, yeah, like,
by the way, that's his own the actor's actual fur coat. He's Canadian. Nice. That's his own. He brought it with it. Yeah. I learned about that. Yep, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, also, just, it's one of the, you've heard the horror story, the calls are coming from inside the house before, but it still manages to keep you on your toes, even though that's coming. And also, like, the ending is just great, like a scary movie, like, the way the ending's so great. It's just a great dark movie, with a bad ending, and it's a scary story, it's great.
Zombie. Dude, you've got some issues, man. Rather taser my watch this crap again.
Well, comparing it to what we've gotten over the past, 50 years since then, yeah, it's pretty tame and kind of slow. But you have to understand at the time, shit, dude, the fact that something like this would have come out and been theatrically distributed was an affront to all that was holy to some of these parents,
It also, I think, is one of the godfathers of slasher films.
Absolutely.
It sets it up where the only thing missing is the fact that the surviving girl is not a virgin. But I put her up there with it because motherhood is almost kind of even, in my opinion, to that. Like, she's a mother now, so thus she's on a pedestal, so thus she's similar to like a virgin. But I think this.
No, she's trying to abort her kids. So.
I know, but hey, that was a really based scene where Paul right? Paul was like, "Get out of here!" After she was like, "No, man." I was
there's no right answer. It doesn't tell you how to think about it. It presents like a moral conundrum, and these characters with these. It's like a Stephen King story. You got these characters with this like all this stuff is happening to them besides the fact that there's a slasher involved.
Well, even the fact that she was talking about an abortion in this movie, because I think Roe versus Wade just happened in the last year or 2 years prior to this movie being released. So this was like a hot thing to talk about. So, Gord, disappoint us.
Okay, so if you're worried about me putting this on either of the bottom 2 tiers, it's not quite that bad. But I would just rank this as okay because, I think it's incredibly well acted. I think the atmosphere that it creates is really, really strong. My problem is that the police force is so preposterously retarded that it kind of breaks the plot for me. Like it was very distracting throughout the movie just to see the cops not behaving like police officers should behave in this circumstance. And it's kind of I mean, it's funny that this inspired Halloween because I have tons of beef with the way that movie's written too. And I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I would probably say Halloween's worse written than this as far as the way the plotting goes, but similar to that movie, it also nailed atmosphere. And I actually think this has better characters than Halloween, so I would rate it slightly higher than that movie. So I think I would probably like score this. And granted, this is a first time watch score. I'd probably have it as like a kind of a 5 out of 10, which for me means like it's right down the middle. It's kind of mediocre. I'd say this is a better movie than anything else on the OK list, but I can't personally justify putting it any higher because that just grated on my nerves the entire time.
Yeah.
So we have 3 very nice and 1 okay. So it's probably going on the nice list, and I think it should be the top of the nice list.
I would still put it on very nice list just because it's
Yeah,
crucial.
I think three. No, honestly, I think you all probably should put it on the very nice list. Because it's 3 of you all agreeing on that. I think that's fine.
Yeah,
And I think it should be above
guts.
Yeah, and I think it should be above Addams Family
Yeah.
value. That's in my opinion on that one.
I would disagree with that, but
I would too, but
I think the overall sentiment for Addams Family Values was stronger. But then again, we didn't have a vote from Vex. So
this is also a holiday horror stream, so
yeah.
All right, next one. I think this is going to be controversial. Where is it? There it is.
Should I?
Everybody knows Nightmare Before Christmas. Jack Skellington, King of Halloween Town, discovers Christmas Town, but his attempts to bring Christmas to his home causes confusion. I fucking hate this movie.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you?
You're so edgy, Nadia.
Okay, listen. I think the reason why I hate this movie.
How do we kick Nadia out of her own stream? My gosh.
Vex, don't you fucking. Vex,
withholding comments for now.
Let me clarify. I can appreciate it for what it is. I understand it is a very well story-driven movie. I think it's very well made. I think the music's fantastic. The fans of it fucking ruined this movie for me. This movie has become a lifestyle for some people, and it's just overboard for me. So thus, it's a big X for me. It's an okay movie for me. They just they take the magic away from it. It just annoys me to no end.
Yeah.
Vex, go ahead.
Controversially, I am going to agree with Nadia here. I cannot stand this movie. I 100% agree. The fandom ruined this movie. My best friend in high school loved this movie to death, and I honest to God couldn't understand it. I very much like the design and the aesthetic of it. I have no problem with that. But I don't find any of the characters particularly interesting. I found Sally very annoying. I don't know, most of the music was pretty like just run of the mill. I don't think this has a ton of rewatch value on top of that. But it embraces the holiday spirit pretty well. I'll give it that. I like the blend between holiday and Christmas. I can't think of another movie that does it as well, or if there is even another one. But yeah, you can blame the fan base for this one. I think without the fan base, it would be okay. Like it's mid at best. But I'm going to rank it as a lump of coal.
Whoa.
Enzo.
I put
you all are doing for women right now what the fans did to Nadia for this movie.
Well, I agree with the ladies. When I meet a woman and she seems like a prospective mate, and she loves this movie and she's got Nightmare Before Christmas merch everywhere, that's like a big red flag. You know what I mean? But that being said, like this movie should be on the very nice list because it encapsulates both, Halloween and Christmas spirits pretty well. But also another thing that makes it a great horror movie is this is crucial viewing for like very young children. If you want to get them into horror movies, like this is a great horror movie training wheels. If your kid likes this, then yeah, you could probably like your little toddler likes this. This is how you kind of warm kids up to watching. Like you want to turn your kid into a sick, demented freak like me, you got to train them a little bit, And this is a great way to have him, have a little baby like obsessed about this movie. But also one thing I like about this movie is it's so short and it's just such a it's got a great pace. And yeah, I mean, Danny Elfman, he's one of those fake movie composers where he can't read music, you know. So he's a music. He was in the band Oingo Boingo, you know. But the songs are pretty classic, and Catherine O'Hara's great. Paul Rubens is in it. It does have some great rewatchability factors when you pay attention to all the little stuff in the background and all this stuff. But as far as like the plot's pretty thin. The story, it is like a children's story expanded to a, you know, very short feature-length film. But yeah, it's definitely like crucial holiday viewing, you know, around Halloween and Christmas. It worked for 2 holidays. So, I mean, that's kind of bonus points for that. And yeah, I think when you compare it to, it's not a Tim Burton movie, you know, it's a Henry Selick movie. I've always been adamant in defending Henry Selick for not getting enough credit for this movie. So, you know, compare it to James and the Giant Peach and some other ones, like it's up there. It's a pretty great claymation movie.
Nah, fuck this movie. Gord, go ahead.
Okay. Not only is this on the very nice list, this is by far and away the best movie on this entire list. It's not even remotely close. It is not.
I might, you know, there's
it's
probably...
not remotely close. This is the only movie on this entire list that is a genuinely great film.
He's biased because he's a pumpkin.
I was about to say he's biased.
Yeah.
So
this is look. Here's the thing. I couldn't care less what like Nightmare Before Christmas fans say. I don't care about the Hot Topic crowd at all. They're all cringe and gay. But this is a great, like, yes, it's like, okay, the plot's very simple. That's no big deal. It's a 75 minute movie. It has a very simple premise. It very much captures the Christmas spirit, very much captures the Halloween spirit. This has the best hit ratio of any musical outside of probably The Wizard of Oz for great songs. Almost every song is catchy and worth singing along to. This is a lot of fun to watch with other people. It is a lot of fun if you have, you know, kids or nieces and nephews. It's really fun to watch with them. This is the only movie on this list that I would genuinely call great. It has excellent appeal. It has really, you know, strong themes. And the design is so careful and so loving. Like, the only actual issue I have with this movie probably is that it's too short. And the weird thing is that if I had gotten my wish, it had been maybe 10 to 15 minutes longer. It probably would have taken another year or two for it to come out because this style of filmmaking was so difficult. I mean, this movie took a really long time to make, but it is such a lovingly crafted movie. But yeah, I think this movie's excellent. And it's not a movie that I grew up watching a ton, to be perfectly honest. It's one that I've grown to love more as an adult than I did when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah, masterclass at filmmaking too. I mean, it's just really tight movie. I'd put it on the very nice list, man, for sure. And yeah, I probably could debate, is it the best movie on the list? It's possible.
Okay. Honest question,
right.
though. Because Nadia and I both hate it and you guys love it. Can we settle it okay?
No.
No. Yeah,
no,
I mean, I
think
think
because you're all doing it for stupid reasons. You're doing it for stupid reasons.
I think I can appreciate for what this movie
This is why, like, you're all actually legitimately demonstrating why women shouldn't vote, is because they get too emotional about stuff.
Yeah.
I can appreciate this.
You let
you guys hate it as the
influence
fans.
you.
Yeah, that's kind of not a good enough reason to.
It's not even the fans; it's the lifestyle
I want
that
to
it's
vote
been.
based on my principles.
Well,
All right, I'd be willing to put it on the top of the nice list.
That's fine. Just know that you're wrong.
Or the bottom of, you know what?
There's only
Thank
two people
you.
on the panel, so
All
we
right,
can
let's
put
do
it
this.
wherever we want.
You know, the chat was called lame and gay by Gord King himself personally, and I still think they'd agree with it.
Well, not the chat. I said like I'm talking about like the fanatic type Nightmare Before Christmas.
How many? Yeah, put one in the chat if
I'll
you're someone Gord's describing.
All right, chat. You know what? Let the chat be the deciding factor. Chat.
Sure.
End of the very nice list or top of the nice list? So very nice or nice?
Yeah, Admiralty guilty.
Okay, guilty.
Yeah,
I don't know which tier that is.
No, Gord King called him gay. Yeah, the fans of this movie are gay. I get it. Trina says top of the nice.
Top of the nice.
Top of the nice.
I think
Top of the
I'm
nice.
in the naughty list.
Okay,
Max,
all right.
we know this. Thank you for shrimping, Max.
I'll settle for top of the nice list as well.
Top of the nice list, I think, is totally fine.
Okay. All right. Top of the nice list. All right.
Are you
Still think it should be
monetized yet so I can pay to change that rating?
Oh,
Not yet. Still 500 watch hours.
We
We're
now
getting
know
there.
why.
Yeah. All right, next movie.
Under the tree, we'll be crawling around on all fours. Just you.
Violent Night 2022. When an elite team of mercenaries break into a family compound on Christmas Eve, a disgruntled Santa Claus must take them out to save both the hostage and his holiday. I hate to say this. I really actually enjoyed this movie.
Why do you hate to say that? Why do you hate to say that?
Because I don't like David Harbour very much so. Most of the stuff I don't like him in, but I actually really enjoy this movie, and I would almost put it probably top of the okay list or bottom of the nice list. Like, I would rewatch this movie. It's mindless fun. You just turn your brain off. But let's go down the list. Vex.
I'm gonna put this at the naughty. Not a big fan of it. I thought it was really boring. It wasn't very original. I'll give it points for definitely embracing the Christmas spirit. It's got the good Christmas aesthetic going. But I just I found it very hard. Like, it's not a terrible film. It's just a film. There's nothing that really makes it stand out. I don't think David Harbour is a particularly great actor either. I think if they'd cast anyone else, it would have been significantly better. So I'm going to go with the naughty rating.
Okay. All right. Enzo?
Yeah, I'd go with okay. I mean, it's funny because technically, I guess I'd put it in naughty because I do like ThanksKilling and Jack Frost a lot more than it. I guess maybe we'll go with naughty. It's a, like Vex said, it's a lot of it's Netflix, right?
Yeah.
I don't
No.
This
Okay.
This got a theater release. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it reminds me of a Netflix movie because like all the Netflix stuff is just kind of mid, and it looks good. It looks pretty, and I do like David Harbour was a fun Santa, but again, it's like Superman. Like, you don't want to see Superman all scruffy and shitty. You don't want to see Santa Claus doing that either. Santa Claus is like Superman. He should always just be like a beam of optimism and cheeriness, and just no matter what. And that's the character. Like, even when Superman or Santa Claus is in the slums, in the ghetto, in the worst part, when he's dealing with terrorists, like, he should still be very like cheerful and ho ho ho. Like, I think that would have been better. That was a missed opportunity. But I don't know, just kind of forgetful. Also, I don't really remember a lot that happened in the movie, even though I just watched it not long ago. Just a lot of deaths and action, and John Leguizamo, he's cringe.
He's always cringe. Like, it is.
He's the worst thing about
I don't even remember
movie.
if that was him or not. Was that him or Luis Guzman? I can't remember.
It's John Leguizamo. It is John Leguizamo.
Okay.
But hey, they give you an incredibly satisfying kill on him.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I wanted to put it at the bottom of the okay list when I first started, but looking at ThanksKilling and Jack Frost, I'm like, no, I kind of should go behind those. Above Black Friday, though.
Above Black Friday. Okay, all right.
So I would go. I actually agree with you on this one, Nadia, because I actually would consider this better than Thanksgiving, because so this had some of the same issues where I think the majority of the characters were very unlikable. Although I did find myself at least invested in the relationship between Santa and the little girl. That aspect of it I liked. I liked their dynamic. I thought their interplay was sweet. There were some moments there that I thought were pretty good. I do think the movie is like probably about 20 minutes too long, and I think the villains are kind of awful. It does take too long to get to the really good action stuff, though. But I think the last like 20 to 30 minutes of this movie are really, really fun. Like I said, I think the kill on John Leguizamo is incredibly satisfying on a movie level and on a meta level. So I would put this on okay. So either at the top of okay or between Gingerdead and Thanksgiving. I thought this was fun. I'd rewatch this.
I would rewatch this more so than the Jack Frost. So
yeah,
I feel it should be on the okay list, but I also agree. I think I would reach for this more often than Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So how does everybody feel about okay between the two?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay. Gingerdead Man still in the lead. For that one.
It is the okayest.
Yeah. Next one is.
Please. Because I didn't know she was married.
Silent Night 2012, a police force of a remote Midwestern town search for a killer Santa Claus who is picking off citizens on Christmas Eve. Now, this is actually directed by Stephen C. Miller, who I actually was able to interview a couple weeks ago. So I'll put that link in the description below on his new movie, which is still in theaters right now, Werewolves. So I really liked this movie back when I saw it in 2012. I thought it was a raunchy, fun killer Santa movie, right? Rewatching it, I don't know if it holds up so much for me, but I didn't have a bad time with it. Vex.
Didn't watch this one at all, so I
All right.
will gladly
Enzo.
pass.
Yeah, it's not as good as any of the original Silent Night, Deadly Night installments. It's pretty fun in terms of the kills and in terms of like the violence and being a loose remake. You could even consider it like a requel. Like, is it a sequel? Is it a remake? It's a little bit of both. Also call it dropping Deadly Night off the title, you know. But yeah, I would maybe put it at the bottom of the okay list. It is a product of its time in terms of being like extra raunchy, but I don't know. It just doesn't. It has this kind of a low budget kind of what's the word? Sleaze kind of vibe. I'm not really enjoying. Sleazy. It's kind of a sleazy movie.
So would you say probably bottom of okay, somewhere?
Yeah, or maybe
naughty?
bottom of the okay list or towards the top of the naughty list, I'd say.
Okay. Gord.
I also did not watch this. I watched the original and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, and I didn't get around to the remake.
All right. Well, it's going right here because my OCD. Next on the list is, hold on, let me pull it up. Which one? Oh, that's fucking this fucking movie. There we go. Okay, all right, hold on.
Signing endorsement.
Yeah.
What contest? The wet t-shirt contest, motherfucker!
Poultrygeist, the night of the chicken dead. Zombified chickens attempt to kill fast food workers and then cook them in a restaurant built on ancient burial ground. Why? I don't know why this is on the list.
I love that this is on the list.
I think I was confusing this with the fact that, like, it should be Thanksgiving related, not realizing it's not a turkey, it's a chicken.
Right. It's same thing with Gingerdead Man movie, where it's like, oh, it's not a holiday movie. You're just associating poultry with the holidays.
Yeah. I think it's bottom of the naughty list, lump of coal. I was not a fan, but Gord, did you see this?
I'd put this pretty much in the same spot. It's like, this is probably the raunchiest of any of these movies. I don't know if I really enjoyed watching this. I was like, it went way over the top, but it knew what it was, at least. Like, so yeah, I'd probably put it like at the back of the naughty list.
I mean, this is also what is it?
Trauma.
Lloyd Kaufman's
Trauma.
Yeah.
And Lloyd Kaufman directed this one, which is a big deal because, you know, he only does the essential trauma viewing. I mean, this movie's so naughty, it goes on the very nice list for me. This movie was like, holy shit. Because here's the thing, I had seen the opening scene to this movie a million times, but I think this was the first time I ever actually saw the entire movie, and I was blown away. Because here's the thing, ThanksKilling, so bad it's bad. Gingerdead Man, so bad it's good. Poultrygeist is so bad it transcends, like, it's insane. You have to watch this, especially if you're a fan of like early South Park. It is just so balls to the wall. It has to be seen to believe, and it's a full-blown musical, which is insane, and lots of titties, insane violence, buckets of blood, over the top, offensive humor, making fun of every race, color, religion, and creed under the sun, in a tight 80-90 minutes, you know. So yeah, masterclass of insanely offensive schlock. So yeah, not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, if I never have to see this movie again, I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. Vex.
Unironically, I watched this movie like 4 or 5 months ago, and I think I shared it in the MMM chat and even tweeted about it because I quite enjoyed it. I have to agree with Enzo here. This is very nice just because it falls into, it is so bad, it's good. Like, I had so much fun watching every minute of this movie. I mean, underneath all of the over the top humor and degeneracy, there's actually a really nice commentary on consumerism buried in there. So I was like, this is a very nice read. I would happily rewatch this.
I had a blast watching this by myself, laughing my ass off. Like, whoa.
Yep.
And it makes fun of the, like you said, the food, fast food industry, and also Native Americans, like at the same time, like double whammy.
Yep.
Native American curse and also disgusting corporate fast food chain.
Yep. And gays. A lot of gays.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 2 very nice and 2 lump of coal. So where is this going?
It puts it around nice or okay.
Yeah.
Either top of the okay, back of the nice, I guess.
I would put it, I haven't seen Gingerdead Man, but I'm going to have to.
It's better than Gingerdead Man for sure.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it at the top of okay.
All right. I'm not happy.
I mean, like I said, if you're like offended easily, then yeah, I would not recommend this movie.
I'm not offended easily. Oh yeah, no. I'm not offended easily. It's just not my cup of tea. Not something.
Nadia just doesn't like good film. Like, this is clear.
She was saying something.
I was talking more about Gourd King. Gourd King. When Gourd King said, "Oh, I wasn't a fan of this movie," I was like, "Yeah, that sounds like Gourd King brand right there."
I think if I had seen this younger, maybe in college or teenage, I think I would appreciate it more than seeing it for the first time as an adult.
I think for me it's just like, because I wasn't like offended or anything watching it. I just was like, it felt like just kind of sensory overload for me. It
is. Watch this movie on acid. Tell me how that goes.
Don't do that. Not the first punch, no.
Dude, seriously, exactly. You'd freak out watching this on acid for the first time. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody who's tuning in right now. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the stream as well. Thank you so much. And a note too, like in the chat, if you guys want a movie on a certain list, just shout it out, chat it out, just type it out, whatever, and
shout it out.
Deciding factor on it. Speaking of another horrible movie,
oh my gosh.
Werewolf Santa 2023. On a Christmas Eve, when Santa delivers presents, he's bitten by a werewolf and becoming a monster himself. I couldn't finish this movie.
I hated this movie so much.
Yeah.
This one felt like the biggest waste of time out of all these. I hated this more than any other movie that I watched for this whole thing. Every second of this felt like torture. This is one of the. It's like legitimately is probably the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen.
As someone who watched every movie on the list, this is the worst movie on the list. And it was the first one I watched too. I saw the title. I was like, Werewolf Santa. How have I not heard about this? And within the first 5 minutes, I realized why. First of all, it's a shitty found footage like wannabe movie.
I think it's more supposed to be like a mockumentary because it's happening in real time. Yeah,
it's because like with the Silent Night 2000. I'm sorry, wait. Bottom one. Black Christmas 2019. Like, that is awful feminist schlock, but I think you should watch it for like research purposes. This one, totally, you don't need to watch it. It is a big waste of time. It is a lump of coal. It is not even like so bad it's good. It is just straight shit all the way through.
There's no redeeming value at all.
Bex,
not a single thing.
This one? Bex?
Oh, sorry. No, I did not get a chance to see this one. I'm glad I didn't. From the sounds of it.
I think we all agree. Bottom of the lump of coal list.
Yeah. I was also very disappointed because like the title, the premise, oh, cool. And big waste of a good idea too.
I rarely hand out 1 out of 10 for a movie, and this one easily got that. Easily.
Yeah. It's a bit interesting premise. I think too small of a budget for what they were trying to do.
You know what I also hate? I hate when you survive a werewolf attack and you turn into a werewolf immediately. You got a month before you become a werewolf again,
Full moon, yep.
Yeah.
The movie was just doing things to do. It was just doing things. It's like this happened, then this happened, and none of the happenings were good or entertaining or made a lick of sense. It's horrible.
Well, for the next movie, I have 2 clips, so we'll play the first one.
I'd fuck you.
No, Mrs. Claus would shank me in my sleep.
My wife's dead.
Okay.
And Terrifier 3, which we actually had on our last tier for 2024 horror movies. Art the Clown is set to unleash chaos on unexpected residents of Miles County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve. To me, this is a very nice list. I still, looking back at this movie, really enjoyed it. And I'm not a fan of the first one and most of the second one. Vex, I know where it is on them, but go ahead, Vex.
This is the best movie on the entire list. I love the Terrifier franchise. I absolutely adore this movie. Nadia bought me my favorite shirt ever now. Thank you very much, Nadia.
You're welcome.
I very much appreciate that it didn't try, Damien Leone wasn't happy with what he did in the, not happy. He didn't settle, right? So he kept, he leveled up quite a bit. Huge improvement over on narrative, on characters, on pacing. The kills were absolutely great. There's a lot of cool horror in this. They most definitely embrace the Christmas element quite a bit. So yeah, I would put this at the very, very top of the list.
Okay. Enzo?
Yeah, I mean, you could debate that, there's some movies on this list that are better films, but as far as the list goes, I would put it on the top of the horror Christmas movie holiday list. We gushed over this movie like crazy for the Halloween stream.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Clint Howard, star of Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and 5. So, that's Christmas royalty there. But yeah, I mean, definitely top of the list in terms of just, what we're doing here tonight. I guess if we were looking at all films on a movie-to-movie basis, this movie's not for everyone by any means. But me personally, top of the list. It's just insane.
Just want to add. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, it's just funny to me the idea that this would win the Christmas list movie. So that in itself is a joke.
Just to add, most fun I've had in a movie theater, I think, ever with the audience, because everyone was on the same level I was. Yeah.
And like I said, I was surrounded by children in my viewing, which was awesome.
Terrible.
And they were all laughing. Everyone was laughing and having a jolly old time.
Clint Howard in 2 real, 1 fake episode of Star Trek, Trek Royalty 2.
Oh, yeah. Clint Howard is just royalty in general.
I can't tell you how much I hate the Terrifier franchise. No! I'm telling you right now. I'm with you, girl. I only like the third act from 2 and 3. I enjoyed 3, but I hate 1. I really do. I tried to rewatch it again and I couldn't get into it. Gord, Terrifier 3.
I would rate this as the second best movie on this list. I think, and everything that's been said so far about this is pretty much right on point. I think the thing that fascinates me so much about the Terrifier trilogy is I actually think there's a decent amount of depth to what's going on violence-wise. I don't think it's violence for the sake of violence. I think Art the Clown is kind of holding up a mirror to the audience, and because he's able to be really, really funny, but at the same time, it's like what he does is genuinely unsettling, and just that cackling silent face of his, it's kind of almost asking you, why do you enjoy this the way, because, a lot of people are into this kind of gore porn stuff and, with the Saw movies or Final Destination. This one is holding up a mirror to you. It's like, okay, let's see how bad we can make it. And do you still enjoy it? Because there might be something wrong with you. So I actually think there's some interesting commentary on violence in this movie. Plus, just as a film, as a story, I love how much this has started to embrace kind of its Sam Raimi type storytelling style. I kind of love how much they've incorporated the supernatural stuff without apologizing for it. I think Sienna's a fantastic character, and she's drop dead gorgeous. I think she's one of the most beautiful actresses out there right now. I do have a genuine crush on her. But
it's all good.
I mean, it's like I wouldn't go so far as call it simping, but it's like, I think she's very, very pretty. But I liked this movie a lot. Would I call it necessarily a great movie? Probably it would fall just short of that. But yeah, it's like after Nightmare Before Christmas, this is my next favorite movie on the list, definitely. So
right.
very nice.
So very nice. So where is it going? Before Black Christmas, after Black Christmas?
Well, no, I mean, it
after
should be at the
Family?
top. It should be at the top.
Top?
Yeah, very top. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the only one that has gotten pretty much universal praise from all of us.
We know the top and bottom of the list right now. That is going to
Yeah.
stay consistent.
Okay. All right. So next one is one of my favorites. 1984 Gremlins. A young man breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet, unleashes a horde of mischief monsters on a small town. I think this should be on the very nice list. I think it has great rewatchability. I think both 1 and 2 are fantastic movies. I always just have a big smile on my face every time I watch one of these. Vex.
I didn't get a chance to rewatch this because I watched this a lot as a kid, but I haven't seen this since I was like 12 or 13 years old. But I remember loving everything about this movie. So, and it's become a pretty iconic one too, not just for Christmas, but in horror. So, I'm gonna have to rank it as very nice as well, Nadia.
Enzo.
Yeah, I'd have to put it very nice as well. I don't like it. I mean, I definitely want Nightmare Before Christmas above The Lodge, and I would like Nightmare Before Christmas on the very nice list next to this. But, you know, the point is, I do like Gremlins more than Nightmare Before Christmas. It is such a great movie, and yeah, it encapsulates the holiday spirit, the idea of gift giving, also the warning of like what, you know, getting a pet as a present is always a big responsibility. But also, yeah, just like Night Before Christmas, a great training wheel movie for youngins to get them into horror movies, you know. You can show them this, and if they can take it, then, you know, you can start them onto the harder stuff, you know, like a drug dealer.
Okay, kids, time for Terrifier.
Yeah.
Gord.
Yeah, I would pretty much agree. I'd probably put this like at the very back of the very nice list. I actually prefer
Same.
Gremlins 2 personally. I think Gremlins.
Oh
2
yeah,
is,
no, we're for real.
Yeah, I think Gremlins 2 is kind of significantly better. But at the same time, the first Gremlins, it's a classic. It's so much fun. It's such a novel idea. I mean, granted, I mean, you could argue that it takes a bit of convenience to even make it happen, but once you get going with it, there's just so much fun to be had. This is really entertaining. It manages to kind of be spooky at the same time. It has some good, genuine scares for the little ones.
Dude, the Santa Claus story is traumatizing.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap. It's like, what is happening here, Mom? What is she talking about?
It feels like out of place in the rest of the movie, you know?
But yeah, Gremlins is a lot of fun. I do really like it. It'd probably be like, I'd probably put it like as my 4th favorite movie on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put it right there with the nice list. I think we can all agree it should be on the very nice list.
Yeah.
All right. We're almost to the end. So this is The Mean One. 2022, in a sleepy mountain town, Sydney's parents are murdered and her Christmas is stolen by a bloodthirsty green figure in a red Santa suit, who's also played by David Howard Thornton, known as Art the Clown as well. I found this movie to be on the naughty list for me. It wasn't bad, but I don't think I would ever watch it again. But I don't think I would watch it again solo, but I would watch it again with a group of people. Like throw it on, have a couple drinks, watch it. I don't think it's as good as Terrifier. I think that's what they were trying to go for, but with the Grinch. So I would put this probably after Jack Frost on the naughty list. Vex.
I have not had a chance to watch this one. Is this the new one he just did?
No,
Newish.
2022.
Okay, yeah. I haven't had a chance to watch this, unfortunately.
Because he's also playing, I think, the Mickey Mouse one. He's also
In the new one, yeah.
Yeah. Steamboat Willie one, horror movie.
Mhm.
Enzo.
I'm starting to think this actor might be one of these problematic creepos based on all the characters he plays. Because yeah, this is one of those things where I found out he was playing the Grinch and I wasn't amused because I'm like, oh man, have some range, man. But Yeah, this movie I wanted to put on the naughty list, maybe a guilty pleasure, but I want to say it kind of more fits as a lump of coal. It does have a fun ending. Spoilers, the Grinch is his heart grows 3 times too big. He does get you win him over with Christmas kindness, which is kind of funny. But based on all the violence he commits, I don't think it's he's redeemable or forgivable. The violence, it could have been. It was going for really hardcore, but I feel like it missed the mark and wasn't as hardcore as it was trying to be or wanting to be. Very serious, which is stupid. Comes off as ironically hilarious, but not actually funny though. It's just I kind of watched this feeling nothing until the very end. So I would say it's better than Pilgrim. But I'd be happy with it anywhere on that naughty to lump of coal list area. As long as it's above Pilgrim, I'd be fine with that.
Okay. Gord, while I add our 2 last movies that we forgot to add on this, what are your thoughts?
Stalling for time. Didn't see it.
We're talking Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, right? That's what the one we were talking about in the right.
The one, that and Child's Play were the ones I was asking.
Yeah.
About.
I'm adding. Go for it. Mean one.
Yeah, Mean One. I didn't see it, so I have.
Then what the fuck are you complaining about?
I'm not complaining. I was asking if those other 2. Why they?
I'm adding them right now. Okay. All right. So Enzo, I guess it's you and I. Lump of coal. Top of lump of coal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Next one is. There's something in the barn.
I was gonna say maybe Mean One should go under what's it, that Silent Night? Is that what that is? Yeah. There you go.
No, that's Black Christmas.
Black Christmas. That's what I meant to say. I keep getting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number
Right
two. Number 2 on the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something in the barn. 2023. An American family fulfills their dream and moving back to their roots to inherit a remote cabin in the mountains of Norway, but there's a surprise waiting for them. Again, I thought this would be kind of Christmas. It's kind of Christmassy because it's gnomes. I didn't like this movie at all. I actually just wish I didn't finish it. To me, it's a lump of coal. Vex.
Didn't watch it.
Enzo.
Yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. It was a lot better than I thought it'd be. For a Gremlins knockoff clone. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was okay. But again, I wouldn't call it a guilty pleasure. I wouldn't put it on the okay list. There's a lot of the guilty pleasure stuff that I thought was more enjoyable than it. So yeah, maybe the top of the lump of coal list if we're gonna settle. Again, I was expecting some shit, and I was like, oh, it has some redeeming qualities. Martin Freeman, is that his name? Main guy. He's fun.
Yes. I think
no,
so.
Martin Freeman's the Lord of the Rings guy.
No. Hold on. Martin Starr.
Martin Starr. He's fun in it. And the premise is silly. I'm going to move my whole family to Iceland. Where do they go? Some Slavic country or something to go to Norway. Norway. There you go. Yeah, we're going to go to Norway.
You should never introduce the Fae into your household. That includes gnomes because it's never a good thing.
Never.
Sorry, but go ahead.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. And the gnomes themselves were fun, but again, it's nothing you haven't seen before with the Gremlins,
Okay. So thinking top of lump of coal, bottom of not. Yeah. Oh. All right. Gord.
Didn't see it.
Bye, Trina. Have a good night. Didn't see it. Okay. So I'm thinking, because I would never reach for this movie again. Lump of coal. All right, next one. I don't have a clip for it because I forgot about it. Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
You didn't download the Garbage Day clip.
No, I'm sorry. Gord, where would you put Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2?
I would
part
put
1...
this... Oh, sorry, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. I would put this at either the top of the naughty list or the back of the okay list because, okay, It's definitely a bad movie, but holy crap, it might be like my favorite bad performance ever. The main killer's performance is so wildly over the top and cringe, but it cracks me up. It absolutely cracks me up. He's trying so hard to be evil, and it's just every line he delivers is just with this forced bit of menace. It just it gets me. I was laughing the whole way through. And plus just that famous moment where he shoots the guy after saying garbage day and even blows the smoke out of the gun. I was just like, this movie's so stupid. But it's a riot. I was cracking up the whole time. I definitely think this is in the so bad it's good category.
Well, Enzo, you watched the whole franchise. What do you think?
Well, it's actually one of the weaker ones in the entire franchise, but it's better than the remake. But what's really shocking is like everyone's seen the Garbage Day clip, you know, but I didn't know this, but the movie is literally a clip show of the first movie, or at least the first half of the movie is literally just like replaying clips from the first movie. Yeah, you got the main character who's captured. So spoilers, he gets captured at the end and he's telling the story of how he got captured. And he's telling a big part of his backstory is what happens in the first movie. So we just like recycle a lot of the kills from the first movie, which is insanely terrible. That's a big thumbs down. But yeah, meanwhile he's giving this really cheesy, cliched performance in an interrogation cell. And it all leads up to him going on a shooting spree randomly, you know, doing the Garbage Day scene. It's like I said, it's probably the worst of all the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, which is funny because the 4 and 5 are really bad. But I don't know. Like I said, the fact that it's just so like recycled garbage from the previous time, you could tell this movie was hastily put together, you know, to make a buck quickly. And it gets points for some very memorable scenes, or maybe just one memorable scene. But yeah, I don't know. I'd put it like maybe just above the Silent Night remake.
Okay. Okay. Vax?
Didn't get a chance to watch this one either.
Me either. So, where are we putting this, guys?
I think
okay.
I'd probably think it should be more like on the top of the naughty list.
Yeah, it should be, but it's better than the Silent Night remake. I gotta say that.
It is, but it's still, but that just happens to get there because somebody rated it highly. It's all right. I don't think it belongs on okay.
All right, yeah, naughty list is fine. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Next one, which unfortunately I did not see. So the only one on the list. Yeah.
Who's there?
Red Snow, 2021. A struggling vampire romance novelist must defend herself against real-life vampires during Christmas in Lake Tahoe. Fun fact, all the vampires were practical effects. No CGI was used in this movie.
That's because it's way cheaper to put contacts and fake teeth in a guy's mouth to just superimpose frame by frame, you know. Yes.
Is Enzo the only one who saw this movie?
Possibly.
Yes, he is. I didn't watch it.
I would say this is the second worst movie of the list.
Oh, I was hoping you'd go full troll and say this is the best movie on the list, and by default we put it at the top.
No, here's what. Yeah, no, that'd be funny. No, here's what's funny. I do like Hallmark Christmas movies. You guys know this.
Yes.
This is a Hallmark Christmas movie with vampires in it. But it's just very. The whole movie takes place in like a garage and a house and a front yard. And you've got like 4 actors running around with prosthetic teeth, and you know it's try hard. And I don't know. I can't tell if the filmmakers wanted to make this movie, if there was a passion. It's not essential viewing like the Black Christmas 2019 remake, but it is a little bit better than Werewolf Santa. In fact, I'd say it's a lot better than Werewolf Santa actually. But Werewolf Santa sucked. Werewolf Santa was so bad. But this, I mean. Like I said, if you do like, I mean, I like Hallmark Christmas movies, so it does have that kind of vibe. It's got like a Stephanie Meyer type character who writes about vampires, and she happens to a bat flies into her window and injures itself. She puts it in a box and puts it in the garage, and then it turns out to be a man. A naked man is in the garage with vampire teeth. And
wow.
and then
amazing.
She's kind of nursing him to health with pig's blood, And in exchange, like she wants him to read her aspiring vampire novel that's getting rejected everywhere. And of course, he has to interpret it and give some pointers. And of course, there's other vampires and a vampire hunter looking for him. And again, this whole movie basically takes place in a garage. 80% of the movie takes place in a garage and a living room. And it's a lot of sitting down and talking. It's shitty garbage. But, you know, like I said, miles better than Werewolf Santa.
Okay. All right. Next one I don't have a clip for. Child's Play, because I've got it on the list. To me, this movie should be somewhere on the nice, very nice list. It's actually one of my first horror movies I can remember watching as a kid. It's also started my fear of dolls. I just love this movie. I do revisit it. The remakes shit. The sequels are... It's interesting how insane this franchise gets over time, including with the show. Yeah. But if we're just talking about just the first one, I think the first one's a very good movie, or at least a very good horror movie put together. Vex.
I didn't get a chance to rewatch this one. I have watched it twice during high school because I was wondering, you know, oh, this is one of those iconic movies. Surely it must be good. I don't like Child's Play. I don't like Chucky at all. I'm gonna be nice and I'll put it on the okay list for me. But I would
You don't
put
have to
it
be nice.
on...
You don't have to be nice. It's
Okay. I would put it personally.
No.
It's a lump of coal for me. I'm just
Okay.
I wasn't a fan. Maybe if I rewatch it now as an adult, my opinion might change because I have seen there's a few movies that seeing it as a teenager, my opinion has changed now as an adult, but not a fan.
Okay. Enzo.
I love Child's Play, the franchise. The first one's great, but it's one of the most consistent horror franchises in terms of like quality, because like you don't have a lot of ups and downs in terms of like, is the movie good?
No, you're just straight down.
They're all pretty. No, I mean they're all pretty baseline. I mean it's like Aliens and Terminator, where the first one is a legit horror movie, the second one is kind of more actiony. Or gore fest is the second one. The third one kind of starts really we're playing into the comedy aspect of it. But the first one's great because it's got that legitimate. I mean, we all know that Chucky is alive, but when you first watch the movie, if you were to go in blind, like a big part of it is like, is it Andy doing it and blaming the doll, you know? And the big battery scene is like one of the best horror scenes of all time. Like it's even though it's so stupid, it does get a scare out of people legitimately. But I do have to put points deducted because this doesn't really strike me as a Christmas movie, even though
that's true.
Driving plot the thing driving the plot forward is it's Christmas. You got to get the kid a toy, but this could have easily taken place on his birthday and it would have been the same movie. It's not, there's no Christmas trees or Christmas lights. There's no Christmas aesthetic. There's no holiday spirit. So for that, I would have to put it like somewhere in the middle of the nice list.
Okay.
But it is a great horror movie. I love it. And yeah, you know, I'm not afraid of little killer dolls or little haunted children. I'll just drop kick the little fucker. No big deal. But Chucky has just got such a great character, especially like that develops towards the second and third one. It's only until like the third horror movie that we really solidify who the horror villain is in the franchise. And by part 3, like Chucky is so... You know, he's stuck in the doll, you know, he's a doll now and that's it. He's here to kill you, you know? And also what's his name? The actor Brad Dourif. He's great, man. His voice, he's got the best
yell. Underrated. Underrated.
His scream, his like, Adui Dembella, give me the power, I beg of you. So good.
Okay. I would Gord, go ahead. Sorry, I forgot. Go ahead.
That's happened almost a few times now.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Okay, so funny thing is, when I first saw this movie when I was younger, I kind of had Vex's reaction. I was not a Child's Play fan. I rewatched this within the past year and liked it quite a bit more. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's solid. I would say I'd probably rank this on the nice list, maybe somewhere like I'm not sure yet if I'd go ahead or behind Krampus, but I'd say it's on a similar level of quality. I might have a little bit of recency bias preferring Krampus right now, but I'd say quality wise they're pretty neck and neck.
I would say behind Krampus. I think I would reach, even though this is my first horror movie and it's the reason why I hate dolls and stuff, I think I still would prefer Krampus over it. And I'm with Enzo. It does get some points deducted because even though it's Christmas in the sense that she's getting a Christmas present for her kid. It's not really like a Christmas centered movie.
Yeah.
I would say
All
overall
right.
it's a better movie than Krampus, scarier and funner, but yeah, definitely not essential holiday viewing.
Well, we have one movie left, guys, and I do have a clip for it. Here we go. It's A Wonderful Knife. After saving her town from a psychotic killer, Winnie's life is less than wonderful. When she wishes she's never been born, she finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe where without her, things could be much, much worse. I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life, so I don't have a comparison to this. Yeah, I know. I don't see movies, guys. Come on. Let's
Watch
get
that
with
next week.
Get with the pit. I might. It's one of Chris's favorite like Christmas movies, so I might watch it. But this was okay. Justin Long's teeth bothered me the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Gord, what about you?
I didn't see it. I was so put off by his teeth that I was like, no, I'm not watching it.
Yeah. To me,
No, I
this is
didn't
like
see it.
top of the lump of the coal list, but maybe bottom of naughty. Maybe. Enzo.
Yeah, this is the only movie I had to watch in 2 tries. But yeah, it's not as terrible as the premise is funny. But it's definitely gets points deducted for being like literally gay. A lot of gay agenda going on in the movie. But also
why is Catherine Isabel always in gay movies?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure
get it.
she's a
She's
lesbian icon, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, she's always like, it's sad because she's not a bad actress at all, but she is in nothing but schlock almost.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so weird.
It's a paycheck, whatever.
I guess, yeah.
It's like cool because you get to be an actress, you get paid to act, and you get steady gigs, but you don't have the crutch of fame where people recognize you everywhere.
Probably the biggest
you're
thing
in
she's
shit.
been in. Probably the biggest thing I've seen her in is she was in Hannibal.
Ginger Snap.
Oh right.
I mean,
right.
I mean, that was. I mean, yeah. I guess that movie had a cult following.
But what's great is you could say you've been in all these big movies or bigger movies, or at least movies people have seen, and people may recognize you. But like for the most part, like you could live a normal life, with like out the hurdles of celebrity. That's always cool. That'd be fun, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea. Star in shitty movies. Why didn't I think of that?
Hallmark movies, man. There you go. That's the winning formula.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Unless you're a big Hallmark fan, then you would recognize a lot of the people they recycle.
True.
No, because they all look like generic, random. They could have been a Supercut poster model for all I know, or so it doesn't. They all look like they take pictures in catalogs or something. So, yeah.
Okay. Vex, did you see this?
Yes, I did. I watched this last year when it came out. This is the pile of coal.
Okay.
Bundle of coal. Yeah, this I kind of feel this is on par with Thanksgiving for me. I mean, there you can find redeeming factors if you want, but I just didn't find this enjoyable whatsoever. Justin Long, I was quite disappointed because I actually kind of like the direction his career has taken in recent years, but this wasn't it. Just overall wasn't impressed. Characters were all very unlikable. Did embrace the Christmas spirit, so I'll give it that, but yeah, this is bottom of the list for me.
What about the idea that the killer walks around wearing all white? That seems like just a big mess.
It's a weird choice, right?
Yeah.
To me, the costume design, I've
Maybe they were
never
trying
seen it
for an Art the Clown thing, maybe.
But Art
is
gets
it
bloody
like-
at least.
Yeah.
I've never seen the Wonderful Life. Like, is it comparable to it?
Well, no, but I mean, you took the idea where, imagine things would have been better if I never existed, and then you're whisked away to the magic world where you never exist. You see how different things are for the worse, and you realize like, oh yeah, your life is important, even if it doesn't seem important. This movie is about, this woman. Basically, there's a serial killer going around Christmas, and she stops him. And that's what's interesting is like we find out who the killer is at the beginning, and then later she wishes that she had never done that, or she never existed. And because she never existed, she never stopped the killer. So it's like the next Christmas, the killer's still running around, and the world's totally different. I mean, it's an interesting premise, but it fails because A, we know who the bad guy is from the beginning, and B, like it's just we don't explain. It's some weird aurora borealis that gets it all kicked off for no reason.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll like what it's kind of based off of.
Yes,
What's Wonderful Life is a classic. Yeah, it's a great essential viewing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is our horror movie tier list, guys. We have quite a few in Olympic Hole, a couple in the very nice, okay, naughty list. I think this is a great start for us. For this
if
year,
anybody watches Werewolf Santa, I'll buy you a beer. Don't let me suffer alone.
It's rough.
All right.
It's like you might want to buy yourself something stronger while you're watching it, though.
While you're watching Werewolf Santa. Yeah. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Chat, you guys were awesome tonight. Thank you so much. If you do catch this on the replay, please leave a comment too. That helps with the algorithm. Our next horror tier, which I'll announce a date, we're going to focus on vampire movies. So if you do have a vampire suggestion for us, please leave it in a comment on the video. Gord, what do you have going on next? And I'm going to post your channel in the chat.
Thank you. Let's see. Monday, MMM. We're going to be talking Lord of the Rings: Return to the King. We're going to do the second half of that, the extended edition. So that'll be fun. And it won't be out this week, but hopefully by next week I will have my video out about the first Twilight movie.
Nice. Very.
I hope. Please tell me you added. This is a skin of a killer, Bella. Please have that clip, please. God, it's like Chris has never seen that movie, never seen Twilight, but I will say that sometimes to him, and he just loses it. He just
Twilight is so much fun. It's so bad. I love it.
Enzo, what do you have going on next?
Well, me, just a lot of goofing off and joking around on my channel. Every late night Sunday stream every Sunday. As well as some weekdays do a late night solo stream. And then Wednesdays, we got all the movie commentaries. I've got, Nicolas Cage. Me and Gord King watched like 3 Nicolas Cage movies. We did Bangkok Dangerous. And next, and this week is going to be The Wicker Man, which we were we got our minds blown watching that one. For weird reasons. But yeah, and then after that, I got Dracula coming out, Bram Stoker's for Christmas. So that'll be fun. And just a lot of stupid movies and jokes on my channel. So same old.
All right. Vex, what do you got going on next, girl?
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, early morning Vexhibitionism episode 5. I saw Craven yesterday, so we're going to talk about Craven tomorrow. Was it good? Was it bad? I haven't given a definitive opinion yet. But other than that, sometime between the 21st and the 23rd, I will have a retrospective review on 1922's Nosferatu in time for both Christmas and the Eggers film on the 25th. But thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So for myself, I'm sorry to do this again, but there is no Horror Tuesday this coming week. I have a Christmas dinner to go to, so I'll be eating steak. Lots and lots of steak.
Oh, the horror. How dare you eat a delicious meal?
Not on my dime either. So that's the best part.
Woman.
I will be back on Gooch's channel next Thursday talking about the last arc of Arcane. And then Christmas week is going to be fun. On the 26th, everybody who's on this panel will be joining me with a live stream. We're going to talk about Nosferatu. We're going to talk generally about vampire movies, but we won't be tiering them. That will be next month. We'll release a date for that. And just chilling. What?
I didn't know that was our next tier list. So I'm so excited.
Our next tier list is going to be vampire movies for January. So, but again, on the 26th, I'll release a time. The panel will be here. We're going to be talking about the new Nosferatu. We all will have seen it by then, and then we'll just talk in general about the vampire genre. It'll be a pretty laid back stream. Nothing to it. And then I'll be back next week also for Horror Tuesday on the 24th. Vex actually will be joining me for that, so we will have a Christmas Eve Horror Tuesday. And on that note, guys, I hope everybody enjoyed. Again, thank you so much, chat. You guys were awesome. You guys were fantastic. Thank you to my panel as well. You guys are a blast. And until next time, everybody, stay spooky.
Bye.